I'm curious if you want to learn how to create true emotional safety in your romantic relationships, your friendships, your co working space, and beyond. Step one is to take care of yourself first. This goes a long way. If we are not resourced, then we probably can't show up with love and patience and presence. So remember to meet your needs first. Step two is to lead with curiosity. When we ask more questions, when we strive to understand a person's situations or feelings or thought patterns more deeply, we are more likely to hold compassion for them and for that interaction to result in connection instead of a trigger. Step three is to communicate your boundaries, your needs, your desires, and to normalize other people having boundaries, needs, and desires. And that way we become so much more safe for another one's expansion or even their contraction, and to really honor where they're at in any given time, as well as to be honored where we are at in any given time. Okay, step four is super juicy. Learn nervous system regulation practices or learn how to track your own nervous system. We can either be in fight or flight or rest and digest or totally checked out, numbed out in a fawn or freeze response. So just kind of know how to track your own system, maybe how to recognize if somebody else is triggered and dysregulated, and also normalize taking space, taking a breather, taking 5 deep breaths together. Maybe just saying, hey, I'm actually really triggered right now. This is what I would need in order to move forward in this conversation, or I just need to take some space and I'll be back in 20 minutes and we can resume this conversation. So important to learn and track nervous system regulation. Step five is to love yourself unconditionally and accept yourself. And that includes the inner child and going to these super core layers of when we were first wounded, abandoned, told we weren't good enough, or we were unlovable, or we weren't accepted just the way we are or were. So it's so important to go to these super deep root layers and levels, because usually when we're triggered in relationship, it's coming from this layer. And so when we clear this layer, when we nourish this layer, it's we're just so much less likely to project onto our partners our experience, and we become healthier, more emotionally safe beings. Step six is learning how to hold our triggers and also normalize feeling some pain. We are going to feel uncomfortable in the human experience. We are going to have rage and sadness and anxiety and all kinds of emotional experiences. That's okay. That means you're human. It is actually just energy. And so if we think of our experience as energy moving through and we don't get too attached to the story, then we can just allow it to flow through us and not get so attached to the story. So normalizing feeling pain, normalizing feeling a trigger, normalizing feeling upset, and not judging yourself for being in that moment. Okay, step seven is kind of meta. Learn your attachment style, get educated on what your attachment style is. Maybe, hi kitty, what your partner's attachment style is, and maybe your habit patterns of how you close down around love, when you push away, when you cling and want to be more close than your partner can maybe provide for you. And then again, that goes back to nervous system resilience, learning how to self-soothe, learning how to come back to center, learning how to open to love again. And that's really what secure attachment is. Step eight, get support when you need it. We are not supposed to do this all alone, whether that be calling a friend, resourcing in some way, or going to therapy. It's totally normal to get support. Okay, last but certainly not least is to be compassionate with yourself and others as we are all navigating rough human territory and we all make mistakes. So get friendly with forgiveness, self forgiveness, forgiving others, and knowing that we're all going to make mistakes. No one is perfect, and that we can always get back on board with connection. And whether that be needing to apologize to someone, to take ownership over what happened or what you can be responsible for, or just really listening to someone, it's really super important. So be kind, be compassionate, and know that we are all doing this together.